Hey, what's up, party people? It's your old pal F, and welcome to a special edition of a segment here at Fountain's Pen Cartoons. Um, by the way, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, please know that the purpose of this channel is to bring you new, original, absolutely free cartoons and cartoon content. So please, when you're done watching this, have a look around the channel, like, share, and subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing here, then I'm probably going to eventually put this video on my other channel, Fountain's TOON-torials. Trust me, I hate the name just as much as you, but it almost felt like I had to call it that. I don't feel like I had a choice. But in tandem with Fountain's Pen Cartoons, I'm going to use this channel to give tutorials about making cartoons and drawing and illustrating and all those other things. So, like I said, for both channels, please like, share, and subscribe. And I just figured everybody else has drawing tutorials, so why don't I do one too? So I thought I would show you guys my little process. This is a commission I did actually a few years ago. And I thought I would just sort of show you my process. This is how I start practically everything. I almost always start with the head, and I kind of work out before anything else, at least when I'm doing a figure. Try and work out right away what direction their body, their head, their neck, and their spine are facing, and what direction their spine is going in. That was one of the very first things I learned in art school, and it has served me well because, let's face it, your head and neck and spine kind of dictate the direction that everything else takes. So what you're potentially noticing here is this is what is known as, for lack of a better term, a gesture sketch. For a lot of people do faster gesture sketches, and I sometimes do them much faster than this myself. But this was for a commission, so I thought, hey, why not? That's how I just work out the basic rough pose. You'll know yeah, that took less than a minute for me to do. And after I'm done with that part, I go on, and if I'm happy with it, I start to work out some of the details. This is me doing the hair. By the way, if you're asking yourself, how come he's doing it this way? Why didn't he just edit all these together? It's because I don't know how, and I don't care to learn. um, I pass the savings on to you by not putting a whole bunch of production value in these things, because what I really want you to spend your time on is, when you're done watching this, please go to Fountain's Pen Cartoons, watch the cartoons, give us a like, share, and subscribe, because that's why all of this exists. We're making great original cartoon content that is currently free. We haven't done any crowdsourcing or any you know, Kickstarter, anything like that. We may do that in the future, but we want to give you a good taste of what we're capable of, and what we're going to be doing before we start asking for money or anything like that. So again, I still sort of count this partially as a gesture. I think it's moved beyond gesture and now has become sketch. But this is one of the kind of more important factors when it comes to drawing, is not putting the pencil, or in this case stylus, down and expecting to get the line exactly correct right away. You'll notice I'm doing a lot of just noodling around. I'm also just hopping around and not really committing myself to doing one area and finishing it, doing one area and finishing it. This is much more about kind of capturing the energy of the pose and the overall feel of the pose than anything else. So now what I've done, now that I'm happy with the pose, this is the part where I get onto the sort of first layer of rough inking. And once again, this is all part of the process. Yes, I have my sketch there, and I'm using it as a means of, kind of letting it guide me. But I at no point do I sort of commit to this as permanent. I allow myself to improvise, change stuff around, etc., etc. Um, and again, I'm not necessarily trying to get the lines absolutely perfect here. I'm just trying to, get the basics down. Yeah, and I just and you'll note I changed the color of the rough sketch. I did that so that there'd be more contrast between the black and the white of the background. It's not like I invented that. That is a old school technique, but it's just one more reason why, especially when I'm drawing for um, commissions or for someone other than myself, I just love digital technology. Um, I love being able to just fix, adjust, cut, paste, all that stuff. Now, when the fun thing is, when I'm drawing strictly for my own enjoyment, and by the way, if you are into art, you should always take some time just to draw for your own enjoyment. Um, I really just like ink on paper, and I don't even need. I don't feel the need to use fancy materials or anything like that. In fact, 9 times out of 10, you will find me scribbling away at using a Sharpie fine point on top of just printer paper. Like I absolutely do not. My feeling is yes, it's nice every now and then if you're doing something that you want to hang on your wall or whatever. It's nice to break out the nice materials and stuff. But my feeling is if you kind of train yourself on the crap, everything else just sort of feels like a joyride from there on out. Anyway, as you can see, this is me sort of getting the inking down. But the thing about inking is I'm never happy no matter what kind of, no matter what kind of tip I'm using. I'm never happy with what I put down first. So you're going to see I'm going to go in and adjust this as time goes on. So here we go. Let's continue. Wow, this is 5 minutes long. We're probably going to skip over. In fact, let's skip ahead a bit. Um, let's turn down the volume because I was listening to music while I was doing this, and I don't want to get a copyright strike. Now, as you can tell, I'm really, really getting into the details. I'm obviously pretty happy with it at this point. This was actually one of the very first commissions that I got through social media that I did like ever. And I got to tell you, doing commissions, by the way, if you're watching this, hit me up on Twitter, X, or Instagram. On X, I'm Fountain Cartoon, and on Instagram, I'm Fountain's Pen Comics, not to be confused with Fountain's Pen Cartoons. Either way, I love doing commissions. This was one of my very first, and I just remember thinking while I was doing this, man, this is fun. This is somebody's OC. If this is your OC and I've completely forgotten who you are, I apologize because this, like I said, this was when I was really, really new to social media and truly did not know what I was doing. But I remember thinking to myself, wow, if somebody's paying me to draw a pretty girl, why not? I see that as win-win. Um, and let's just skip ahead to the next one. As you can see, this, and I do love during the inking phase. I do love improvising a little bit, adding more curls to the hair and that kind of stuff. I do really enjoy that aspect of it. And now here is what is essentially the finished piece. Um, oh yeah, that's right. This is a kind of alien girl. So uh, the OC design had antennae on there. But as you can see, I created multiple layers to allow me to have an easier time doing shadows and stuff like that. And I went in and I've come to sort of make the scratchy ink line kind of my signature thing. I'm going in, I'm adjusting the contrast here and there a lot just to make sure that things don't all run together. And then there's always the finishing touch of putting a shadow and highlight in the back, again, just to make it a little more interesting and not too terribly boring. So anyway, I truly hope you have found this in some way entertaining, educational, instructional, whatever. But like I said, by all means, if you'd like a commission, hit me up on social media. I'm all over the place. I have a price list. But beyond that, even more importantly, please, 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 Fountain's Pen Cartoons. We are working really hard to bring you new, original, free cartoons. Please check them out. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you for watching this. Zig zig party people.